The way the U.S. in general has reacted to all the events in Syria is with unbelievable concern, pain, empathy, aid, and a realization that in these young, nascent governing entities that are trying to be inclusive of minorities, how important the process of that inclusion and communication is, and the coordination of that with its neighbor, which is Israel. So the pushing together of all of these pieces, remembering you've had 15 years of atrocities going on before this government took place. So what happens is people are unsure. It's not the situation in Lebanon. You have an existing government that people may have questions about, but the government has functioned, and it's functioned with its minority elements and with laugh. You have a military that's established and that people understand. You have a new government in Syria that's been in existence for 7 months. You have existing minorities and tribes that have lived most of their children's lives in chaos in another government. So when things happen, they resort to their tribe. It's individual, family, tribe, and then nation last. So what's happened is horrible. It's unthinkable. And the hope is that out of this, a consolidation of these issues occurs quicker. But you have a Syrian government in effect. They need to be held accountable. They also need to be given the responsibility that they're there to do. I'm spending the day, and we're back in the midst of this regional instability that has occurred around Syria in the last week. A horrible set of events, which we need to use as a focus for Lebanon today to bring stability and hope to the region. And that's what I think there is. So we're going to continue down that path. We have meetings all day. Your leaders have been more than helpful in trying to come to a set of circumstances and remedies that will soften the situation, not only for Lebanon, and the reforms that are happening at the same time are amazingly plausible and significant. So if we bring security along with the economic reforms, that's prosperity. That's where we're going. Well, we can't compel Israel to do anything, can we? That's not, America is not here to compel Israel to do anything. We're here to use our influence to bring calm minds together to come to a conclusion. The U.S. has no business in trying to compel Israel to do anything. We're here, as I said 100 times, to help you come to a conclusion with your neighbors, and it's not just Israel. There's other conditions and components. And it's up to you. It's up to the government. It's up to all of you when you're fed up with, tribal rivalries, when everybody is finally come to the conclusion that there has to be a better understanding with your neighbors as to how you live. America can only influence. We're not going to have more boots on the ground in an adversarial nature anywhere. We're just not going to do it.
I worked for the LA Times.
The current government of Syria, in my opinion, has conducted themselves as best they can as a nascent government with very few resources to address the multiplicity of issues that arise in trying to bring a diverse society together. And unfortunately, the killing, the revenge, the massacres on both sides are, in any event, intolerable. I think the current government is capable, is competent, is reliable, has done what they've said, has made no mistakes in this interim. What happened in the last few days is so complicated. Israel's intervention in the midst of this creates another very confusing chapter. But the answer is we have to stop the senseless killing. We have to start the dialogue. To me, there is no plan B. We all helped Turkey was tremendously hopeful. Israel is a very complicated question. The United States was not asked, nor did they participate in that decision, nor was it the United States' responsibility in matters that Israel feels is for its own self-defense.
The past week, some very dramatic events in Syria.
It came at a very bad time because, as here, we're all trying to get deconfliction agreements and saying if we have buffer zones, as we do here. Now, the intolerable part is how do you fit? We have a detainee and hostage release program that's going on as we speak. But the detainees were in a village. So if you looked at the Druse families, they're in a village. The Bedouins are in a village, but thousands of them. So the civilians have all been released as of 15 minutes ago, most of them. The fighters will all be released in the next 24 hours, and everybody's just trying to keep calm.
I was covering local news at the time.
Well, welcome back home. SDF and YPG have been friends and allies of all of us in this fight against ISIS. The Kurd situation is an old and sad story. In counterparts, we see it happening every place. But in this instance, the integration of SDF, which is the Northeast, which also has Turkey on its border, who has a vested interest in what is this buffer zone? Is this another buffer zone? And how does it integrate? And is SDF themselves an enemy of the Turkish government? Not just the first paragraph of the first chapter. And we have